Wood chips. What's up, everybody? Bear with bearindependent.com. I would have you on a tripod, but I lost the little doobobble that goes on top of my tripod because I'm rough on things. These are wood chips, predominantly pine, but there's some hardwood mixed in there. And there's a skid steer for comparison. A pretty good sized pile, as one can see. And we've been getting these from the tree company that actually got their truck stuck in the driveway when we were putting this driveway in. So rather than getting all upset about it, we turned lemons into lemonade, got their truck unstuck, and built a relationship. And they are now dropping all of their wood chips here. Which begs the question, what on earth are we going to do with all these wood chips? Well, I have a 16-foot trailer hooked up to my truck right here. I'm going to be taking these over to another location, and then I'm going to use the skid steer, pick the trailer up, and dump it. I took the back ramp off the trailer so that I could do that. And where we're using it, we're actually reclaiming an area that's thicket that we're turning into an orchard. In that orchard, we're going to fence around the individual young trees and then do a perimeter fence and fill that area full of turkeys. Because turkeys love to dig through stuff like this, and they're good at building soil. They always scratch and integrate stuff, and I like putting turkeys into a pen much more than I like chickens, because I like processing turkeys much more than chickens, because I get 8 to 10 times as much meat every time I process a turkey, and it doesn't take but maybe 2, 3 times as long as processing a chicken. So good return on investment. So for soil building, we're going to be using these wood chips. You can see here the dirt underneath where these chips have been sitting is nice and black. That's good, because most of our soil here is dead red clay. And so we'll be incorporating some of these wood chips into our compost for next year so that they have time to break down. That'll be another use for them. So we're going to use them for the orchard. We're going to use them for the compost. Man of War, Ruination, Warhorse cut, by the way. We have been using them also for making paths around the property. It's been raining a lot here. It's been a very wet winter, and having mud everywhere is not as enjoyable as it might sound. Mud season has not been a great thing for us here in Bear Camp. So we've been spreading these free wood chips. Yeah, they're free, by the way, and they bring anywhere between 1 and 4 loads a day. And they said they're going to be here for a year. The tree company will be in our area for a year. And so I'm scrambling on what do we do with wood chips. But we have a lot of areas where these things are going to be useful. So we're also building paths with them. It's another thing you can do with them. Using them for animal bedding. In where our meat birds are at, the little pen the meat birds are in, our chickens, which we have Freedom Rangers. I much prefer them to Cornish Cross. The Cornish Cross is an abomination. That bird is not a healthy bird. Freedom Rangers have been awesome for us, and so I'm going to put some of these down as well for the same reason with the turkeys. They'll scratch through, incorporate it into the soil, and for soil building to build up our dead soil. I may put some underneath the kids' swing set, but you can see here it's wood chips come out of a chipper into the back of a truck and now to here. And so I'm super thankful to have them, and they're a free resource for us, which is a wonderful thing. Praise the Father for that. And we intend to make use of them. But it also gets to the larger point that when the tree company got their truck stuck out here, I could have come out here and screamed and yelled at them and been a real jerk about it. And half of me wanted to. But it wouldn't have unstuck the truck. It would have only made things worse. And so if you haven't seen that video, you can go look for the We Saved the Tree Company video. Because we did. So instead, I cut down the tree that they were trying to get to with their truck anyway, while they got their truck unstuck. And I handed the foreman one of my business cards, and I said, hey man, anytime you've got to come on my property, just do me a favor and call me first, because it gets really wet out here, which is why you got stuck in the first place. Yeah, you should have got out of the truck and walked it before you backed the truck in here, but I'd also like to know when you're going to be on our property. I understand you have a job to do. You've got spans to clear. I get it. I used to own a tree business. I totally understand, but holler at me first. I said, okay. And I said, oh, by the way, I gave a couple of the guys a couple of cigars. I said, oh, by the way, what are y'all doing with your wood chips? Where are you dumping them? Because a lot of times they have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to wood chips. They don't have good places to dump their wood chips. And I said, right now we're running them to a place in town, but we're running out of room. I said, how easy is it to get to here? They go, man, we're going to be in this area for a year. I said, bring me as many wood chips as you can. I'll fix the hole that you made in the driveway and we're even. And the guy, he just starts laughing. He goes, man, I'm going to bury you in wood chips. I said, prove it. And so they've been burying us in wood chips. And now we're on a first name basis with these guys. They've got 3 or 4 trucks in the area just doing line clearance, and then they'll be here for a year. And so rather than taking a bad situation and make it worse, we took a bad situation and made it better. And now it's a long-term relationship. So we got our hands on a free resource that we're going to make good use of. It's going to be a blessing to us that otherwise we wouldn't have had, by simply engaging with people, being personable, being polite even if we're upset, which is a challenge for me. But now we have, there's probably 100 yards of wood chips there and 8 more on the trailer right here. And I've already moved at least 50 yards of wood chips, already. And it's February, and they're going to be here all year. So praise the Father. And my point here is look for those relationships that you can be forming where you're at. Who can you be talking to form those strategic relationships? And how can you work together? Talk to your local tree company. A lot of the times, if they're in your area, they'll just give you the chips on the back of the truck. Awesome. One less load. Sometimes they might make you pay for them, but it's usually pretty reasonable. Maybe $50. And take care of those guys. Like I said, I threw them a couple of cigars. You know, we've tossed them bottles of water before. Have an arrangement with one guy to hunt a piece of land that we own, right? Because they're going to be here for a year. They're away from home. Cool. Well, now they feel like they know somebody in the community. They feel a little bit more at home. And it all just comes from talking to people. So I would encourage y'all to just talk to people and see what blessings are out there that you might be missing, that you could otherwise take advantage of and be blessed by if you take an opportunity to talk to somebody. So that's our wood chips for the homestead. I'm sure you'll be seeing more of these because I have so many more of these to deal with. And I'm thankful for the skid steer because shoveling this stuff, it can be done, but I'd rather do it with that thing than with my shovel. Bless y'all. Shalom.